Namo Buddhaya. Imagine this. You're sitting calmly, minding your own business, and suddenly someone storms into your space, their words dripping with anger, hostility, or blame. We've all encountered such moments, whether it's a family member, a friend, or even a stranger. The real challenge isn't avoiding toxic people, because they're everywhere. It's learning how to handle them without getting dragged into their negativity. In today's episode, we're diving deep into how to deal with toxic people through a Buddhist lens, focusing on compassion, wisdom, and self-control. This topic is not only relevant, but crucial in maintaining peace in our modern world. Let's explore how we can manage such situations gracefully, just like the Buddha did. The Buddha's encounter with toxicity. One of the most famous stories from the life of the Buddha revolves around a toxic individual who came to challenge and insult him. This person was furious, shouting at the Buddha, trying to provoke a reaction. But how did the Buddha respond? With anger? Frustration? No, quite the opposite. The Buddha remained calm, smiled gently, and did not accept the man's hostility. The Buddha's reaction teaches us that the power of toxicity lies in whether or not we accept it. In this story, after the angry man had exhausted his insults, the Buddha asked him a simple question. When guests come to your home and you offer them food, what happens if they refuse to accept it? The man responded, "Well, then the food is still mine." The Buddha smiled and said, "Exactly. Just as you offered me your anger, I choose not to accept it, so it remains yours." This was a profound moment of wisdom. When we refuse to accept negativity, it stays with the person who delivered it. Modern examples of toxic encounters. Toxic people can appear in various forms today. Think about that coworker who always criticizes your work, or a family member who constantly brings negativity to gatherings. Their words are like the food the Buddha talked about. They can only hurt us if we consume them. For example, in the workplace, toxic people may try to undermine your confidence or push you into reacting angrily, hoping to see you flustered. But if you handle it with grace, much like the Buddha did, you will maintain control over your peace of mind. Similarly, social media is a breeding ground for toxic interactions. It's all too easy to get swept up in an argument online, but when we choose not to engage in hateful conversations or respond to criticism, we reclaim our peace. The key takeaway here is that toxic words are powerless unless we give them power by reacting. The Buddhist practice of loving kindness. So, how do we practically apply this wisdom in our daily lives? One of the most powerful techniques in Buddhism is the practice of metta, or loving kindness meditation. By cultivating love and compassion in our hearts, we train ourselves to respond with kindness, even in the face of hostility. This doesn't mean letting others walk over us, but rather choosing to approach situations from a place of strength, calm, and inner peace. Imagine starting your day with a few minutes of metta meditation, focusing on sending love and kindness to yourself and others, even those who challenge you. When you encounter negativity later in the day, you're more likely to respond from a place of centeredness. This practice is crucial because it strengthens your emotional resilience, making it easier to face toxic people without getting dragged down by their negative energy. Reflecting on our own actions. Dealing with toxic people isn't just about managing others. It's also about managing ourselves. Sometimes, anger or frustration in others can reveal something about our own behavior. When someone lashes out, it's important to take a step back and ask, is there any truth to what they're saying? Often, Toxic people act out because they feel unheard or wronged. If we listen carefully, we might find that there's a grain of truth in their accusations, and we can use that to grow. For example, if someone accuses you of being inconsiderate, instead of immediately defending yourself, reflect. Have there been moments where I may have unintentionally hurt them? This doesn't mean that we always need to accept others' toxicity, but we can use it as a mirror to examine our own actions and improve ourselves. Responding with silence and action. Sometimes, the best way to respond to toxic behavior is through silence. As the Buddha taught, silence can often speak louder than words. When someone is angry, their mind is clouded with emotion, and they're not likely to listen to reason. By staying silent, we allow their anger to dissipate on its own. Then, when the storm has passed, we can address the issue calmly. However, silence alone isn't enough. We must also lead by example. If someone criticizes us unfairly rather than retaliating, we can prove them wrong through our actions. Success, calmness, and kindness are the best ways to show others that their toxic words have no effect on us. Over time, they may even come to respect our calm demeanor and self-control. Building emotional boundaries. While it's essential to respond to toxic people with kindness, it's equally important to set emotional boundaries. If someone continually brings negativity into your life, it's okay to limit your interactions with them. Buddhists believe in compassion for all beings, but that doesn't mean allowing others to harm us. Creating healthy boundaries protects our peace and mental well-being. Setting boundaries doesn't have to be confrontational. It can be as simple as reducing the time you spend with someone or politely declining to engage in certain conversations. By doing so, you protect your energy and prevent toxic behavior from affecting your emotional state. The key takeaways. In the end, dealing with toxic people is about maintaining control over our reactions. Like the Buddha, we can choose not to consume the negativity others offer us. By practicing loving kindness, reflecting on our actions, responding with silence when needed, and setting healthy boundaries, we can protect our peace of mind and emotional well-being. Toxic people may be everywhere, but with the right mindset, we can handle them with grace and wisdom. As we wrap up, remember that the best way to handle toxicity is through compassion, both for others and for ourselves. Every negative encounter is an opportunity for growth. Next time you face a toxic situation, try to respond with a smile and see how the dynamic changes. Stay peaceful, stay kind, and protect your inner peace. At the heart of it, the Buddha's teaching reminds us that we cannot control others, but we can control our reactions. Toxic people may come into our lives, but how we respond to them defines our peace. Smile, stay silent if necessary, and remember, the negativity they project is their burden, not yours. By staying centered, you can navigate any storm with the wisdom and grace of the Buddha.